This video was sponsored by Kershaw Knives, creating high-quality, high-performance, exceptional working tools and knives that users are proud to carry. Use discount code ARCHERY20 for 20% off at KershawKnives.com. Hey Archery Talk, this is Lucas, and today we've got an arrow build video for you. These ones are the Victory Archery RIP SS. This is a small diameter arrow. And it's fairly heavy hitting. The SS stands for stainless steel carbon fiber weave. So this weighs 10.7 grains per inch for the 300 spine shaft, which I've got here. So the first thing we did was I took off all of the nocks, and then we went over to the arrow saw and I cut these all down to 29 inches exactly, just from carbon to carbon. If I was just shooting these for my one personal bow, which I was going to be hunting with or whatever, I would be a lot more small changes on that. I might start off at 29.5 inches and have another one cut at 29, maybe another one 28.5, and see how they're shooting and see how they're grouping. But because I'm kind of using these for all of my test bows, I kind of have a more generic one. 29 inches works for me. It gives me plenty of clearance for my 30-inch draw length to get everything done that I need to get done. So yeah, this arrow is again a fairly narrow arrow. It's a small diameter arrow. And I'm hoping this will be, it'll match kind of the hunting arrows I was using before. I had some gold tip airstrikes. Love those arrows. This is fairly similar in size to those. I don't have the exact measurements on the comparisons for those, but it should be pretty close. These are a little heavier though, with that stainless steel and carbon fiber weave inside there. So after the arrow saw, we use the squaring device. G5 makes a great one. And just kind of square the edges out, make it as flat as we can. Want everything to adhere and glue as easy as we can. And after I squared the edges of all 18 of these arrows I'm shooting, then I went and grabbed some acetone and a Q-tip and just kind of cleaned up the inside of the arrow shaft a little bit, just to make sure the glue is going to adhere properly in there. And then I glued in the inserts. I am just using the 50 grain inserts that come with these. In hindsight, maybe I should have gone with something a little lighter because this arrow ended up being maybe a touch heavier than I had assumed it would be. I don't think I did the math quite right on my end, but we'll talk a little bit more about that weight in a second. And so yeah, so we glued in all the inserts. Actually, before we even glued in the inserts, I weighed everything. So once I cut them down, I weighed all the arrow shafts, just with the nocks, the vanes that came with it, and the arrow shaft down. And I kind of put those in order of lightest to heaviest. Then I weighed all these 50 grain inserts to lightest to heaviest. The inserts were very close. I think they're all between 50 and 50.7 grains. The arrow shafts, I got a little more variance. 12 of them were very close, within about a grain of each other, grain and a half, and then the other 6 were about 4.5 to 5.5 grains lighter. They come in packs of 6, and so they kind of promise they're match weighted in there. So they're very close in weight in each of the packs. Just one of the packs was just about 5 grains lighter than the other packs. Not a huge deal if you're only shooting that 6-pack of arrows. I've got mine marked. I've got those 6 arrows marked just so I know which ones they are. So I'm not gonna. I probably won't take those ones hunting, or if I am gonna take them hunting, those are the only ones I'm gonna take hunting. But that's just me. It's 5 grains. Ultimately, it's not gonna make a big difference unless you're shooting out past 40 or 50 yards. So once I got the heaviest inserts and the heaviest points, and I matched those with the lightest arrows and tried to get everything as close as I can to perfect. And we ended up with 12 arrows that ended up between 1.2 grains from each other. That's with everything in there, with the glue, which maybe not be the same amount of glue in each arrow, the points, the inserts, the fletchings, the whole 9. They were all between 500 grain, exactly was the heaviest one, and 498.8 was the lightest. So yeah, 1.2 grains difference all around. The other 6 were closer to 495. I think the lightest ones were like 494.8, and the heaviest ones were 495.6, if I'm not mistaken. So just a little less than a grain difference between those six and the other 12. So again, that's about it. Now I've got to go out and shoot these things, and I'll be doing a bunch of testing. I asked for a lot of arrows because sometimes arrow testing and broadhead testing, things get destructive and I break arrows. So the last batch lasted me maybe 4 years, which is great. So if I can get that much of these, all the better. So one other thing I should mention is I ran all these on the spinner. Right after I cut them, I ran them on the spinner, and after I put on the inserts, ran them on the arrow spinner, and I forgot to record both of those things. So I've given you some recording with them with the points on with these things on the spinner, and they are ridiculously straight, like no wobble at all at the ends, which is exactly what you want. The RIP TKO the RIP SS, comes with 3 different levels. There's a 0.001, 0.003, and 0.006. So those will have 3 different price points. So these are the elite ones, the 0.001. That's as straight as it can be. So if that's what you're looking for, I would suggest going that way. So Archery Talk, thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you want me to test next. If you want me to do anything specific with these arrows, I'll run some speed tests on all the bows with these heavier now 500 grain arrows, as well as the 350 grain kind of speed test arrows, and we'll go on from there. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.